Jimbo, off to work we go. Jimbo, 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 Jimbo, off to work we go. Jimbo.
Hi everyone and welcome to another hashtag Ask Jim, and we're up to episode 22, which is hard to believe. I'm Joel Kleber and with me is Jim Penman himself and Paul Commerford, who I'll introduce very shortly as I get through some housekeeping here. We've had a great comment from Matthew Schwartz already from Jim's Cleaning, said listening to the podcast. So there is a thing called the Jim's Cast. If you search that on iTunes or Spotify or other platforms, you'll find that. Actually, I think Paul's interview went up yesterday, so you can listen to that. It's really great. It goes for around 50 minutes. It's an awesome bit of content. And you can learn a bit more about Paul and our other divisionals such as Cleaning, Sharon, Haydar, Ali, Brett Blair, Jim, and there's a lot of these replays going there. So check that out. We also have a shop up now. So if you go to jims.net / shop, you can buy some merch. We've got some hats and stuff which you can buy and some t-shirts. So
you got any mugs yet?
No mugs.
They're coming?
Well, we can get them done with the bears.
I reckon these mugs are great. Look at this good-looking guy on the front there. Got a mug.
Yeah, we can get some mugs going. We'll get some mugs. We'll sort it out. But we're going to expand the shop. But go on there. There's a limited run at the moment. If it tests well, we're going to do a lot more. Remember, guys, tonight, books. So you would have seen today on the social with Jim signing all these books. You're like an athlete today. You're signed star athlete. You had 20 in a row to go, which is for our logo comp winners. So make sure you leave one, because the 3 questions or comments that Paul and Jim like, we do pick at the end, so interact on the feed, and you can get your choice of either Jim's book, or buyer history, or every customer a fan.
Yeah, for those who aren't a franchisee, because all the franchisees should have that one.
That's true. So let us know at the end, but get on there and leave a question and comment, and Jake's giving you a bit of hint about what Jim likes, and obviously for Paul as well. So get on and leave a question or comment for Paul, because Paul will select his own one. And remember, Jim has his own social handles now, so at the Jim Penman on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter as well. And hang around for the end, because Jim's going to do another joke. So that's always worth hanging around for.
I think you are building these jokes up a bit too much.
I like them.
I'm running out of good jokes. But we'll see how I go tonight.
Hang around for the end and for the announcement of the signed books. Now, without further ado, our guest tonight is Paul Commerford, who is the Divisional Franchisor of Jim's Building Inspections, which is around 135 franchisees. I think we checked that number recently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's also an inventor as well. But I'll let Paul tell you about that. Sure. And we've also a lot of new content with Paul, so there's a full interview on our YouTube channel with Paul and a podcast as well.
Paul, in perspective, we started building inspections. How long ago was it?
2012.
Yeah, it's 7 years, and it's the fastest division we've ever had growing after Mowing, right back in the early days. So he's done an amazing job and started another division, which is Jim's hazardous waste removal. So one of our absolute top divisional franchisors.
Yeah, and he's done it pretty quickly though. Was it maybe just tell us a bit about your introduction, about your story and all that sort of stuff, and quick run through about what you do.
Sure. I actually bought a pest control with Jim's Pest Control back then, franchise. I was looking into expanding my building inspection business, and I also was involved in pest control after sort of getting off the tools and being a builder. And I just really curious to come out and see the model, and so I came to the 3 days orientation. I think Scott was my franchisor. Anyway, John Patton was the divisional, I think, at the time. And,
yeah, you would have been.
I bought a pest control franchise, and I paid it off. I think it was $35,000 at the time. I think I paid it off in about 3.5 months or something. So, it was pretty. I thought, this is pretty good, pretty good system. So, I remember. And so I came up. I had Jim's number from when you wrote it on the board at Generic Training. So, I think I rang you that morning, and you said, "Well, we'll just come in this afternoon and talk if you want." And I sat
Yeah.
on that couch over there, and
So Paul's pointing right behind the camera. There's a couch in the
yeah,
background. Yeah.
I was waiting. I think Val was here, and Greg Pizzolo
Yep.
was here, and a couple of other people working.
Mhm.
So no one said I was here or something. So and you were just in one of those rooms playing chess with one of the IT guys. So that was quite funny.
Oh, this is good. Not a good experience.
No, I sort of stuck my head in and thought, oh, that's pretty cool. This is all right.
Yeah.
This,
But they did eventually tell me you were there, or you.
yeah.
made
And then you
yourself known.
said, oh, sorry, we'll finish this later to whoever you were playing with.
Yeah.
And then we just had a chat. And I remember I said, oh, look, I haven't got a business plan. I've got something, I'm thinking about this building inspection division. We're having a chat, and you go, well, what have you got? And it was virtually like a serviette, like stuff I'd had written down. And
Yeah.
You were saying, no, give me a look, show me. So I was so embarrassed. I
Yeah.
pulled it out. You started reading the stuff on the serviette, and you were going, oh, don't worry about that, and no, you need to do this and that. And
I wasn't worried about the presentation, but the figures showed that it was a good earner.
Yeah,
It's a very good earning division. And,
Yeah.
and the basic thing is that you can make at least $60 an hour.
oh,
I would look at any division that couldn't, and obviously building inspection is way above that.
yeah. So I think we started on a rental agreement, and then a few years later had a divisional contracts, and
Away you went.
yeah, we sort of. So yeah, it's been a great road, been a really good chapter in my book, I suppose. It's not.
It's been a
not
great
over yet.
division though, like 2011, and you went from, as you said, ground zero, idea on a napkin,
Yeah.
and now you've got 135. You're definitely the largest in Australia by a mile, I'd say, as a
Yeah.
building inspection. Southern Hemisphere most likely, and obviously you're in New Zealand as well.
Yep.
So you got New
And it's
Zealand.
still growing very, very
Yes.
fast.
Yeah, last 8 months has been a little plateau, but we've had to rejig a few things. The bank's not lending and things like that. It's always an excuse, I think, but it does.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
You just gotta mix things up and do things differently. And
Who's your ideal type of building inspection franchisee? Like, what's the background
yeah,
for blokes?
so a licensed builder in that particular state, like Queensland or South Australia or
Yep.
WA or Vic, they call them registered or licensed or.
Yep.
And just basically sick of chasing money, and he's quite a good, honest guy that likes. You got to have good morals
Yep.
for the business. You got to be good, because these people, our clients are. It's the most important thing, and you are the man. You are the number one thing they want to know is.
And you've got to get it right too, because when they make a mistake, if somebody inspects the house and misses some problem,
Yeah.
we've got to go in there and fix that.
Yep.
And
It's highly emotional.
If they miss termites, you might have to restump the entire house.
Yeah.
So it has to be done right. It's all covered by insurance, of course, and
Yeah.
warranty fund and everything else, but it's certainly one you need a good people. I must say, it's a great division. One of the things I love about it is that the level of service is very high. It's got one of the highest, if not the highest, star rating of any divisions. And typically, most of the guys seem to be up like 4.8, which is very high.
Oh
even
yes,
by our
I think
standards.
that's the highest one, isn't it, on average? Or is it
Yeah.
antennas? Or I can't remember. It was building inspection is number one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Highest
it's
star
very
rating.
good.
Well, most of the states don't regulate in the pre-purchase world or in our industry sort of
Yep.
building inspectors. You can basically just sort of start up a website and away you go. If someone's going to give you insurance is getting a lot harder and harder
Yes.
and harder. But
Definitely.
Queensland is a state that the way the QPCC run the state, you have to be a low-rise or open builder, and you get the pre-purchase or inspector's license built into your builder's license
Right.
once you've done the training and done the course. And that's a great system. We'd love all of Australia to be like that, but it's just completely different. Every state has their own little way of doing things.
But every single guy you have is majority come from being a building.
Being a builder,
Builder,
yep. So Jim's building inspections has prerequisites for their building inspectors. You can be a carpenter who's got a Cert 4 in building and construction.
Yeah.
But just recently we've made changes that you do have to have your builder's license, or you've got a certain amount of time to get your builder's license in that state.
Yeah.
So I just see the industry shifting and changing to be like Queensland, and I'm certainly getting talking to the VBA in Victoria. Coming in to protect the franchisees, you really should be a licensed builder.
Yeah.
And it rings true, like with we don't get as, you see people, although you just got to be really on your game. Like the prerequisites are one thing, but picking the right, the franchisor's picking the right guy is.
You've done a remarkably good job. I mean, I know because I get the complaints through and the problems that arise, and we do get them at times. Mostly in the old days, because guys who didn't know termites were actually doing termite inspections.
Yeah.
We had to change to get them
tidy up,
certified so they knew what they were doing. But we've had a remarkably good run for it. I must say the experience I've had with them has been great. My wife actually uses Tim, one of your blokes, quite regularly to do inspection work for her. And every time I've been in touch with one of your blokes, they're very professional.
It's the best endorsement possible, right there from Jim. We can cut that up and you can use it.
We certainly use them whenever we can. They're great.
Well, when we start our first, they do the 3-day generic training at the gyms group, and then they'll come into our head office at Melbourne and start what we call CRBI course. And the first thing we do is talk about how we're perceived out in the public, and how wearing our brand really affects, if someone does make a mistake in one part of that state, it's really going to have an effect on the group. So the culture and the team, that we've got each other's back, and that team environment sort of thing is from the start. And then we pick it back up at conference when we have conference, and reiterate those.
Well, it's a good example of how a division can start. The franchisee actually just gives me a phone call and says, "Come and have a talk about it," and we get a great division out of it. But talk about hazardous waste too. That's the other one. We used to be called asbestos removal.
Yeah, it was asbestos removal. So I think we've got about 18 franchisees started on the asbestos, and recently we're just bringing in.
So describe how that started.
Yeah, asbestos removal.
Give people an idea how divisions get going.
Oh yeah, sure. Basically, Sam and I started as another franchisor. The building inspectors do a lot of sampling and testing for asbestos, and basically before conference we send out, we give a gyms group voucher or $500 voucher, and we get really good feedback from about 400 customers. So get really good, precise feedback that I want. So you've got to put up a good prize, but they answer the questions that you're really getting to. And one of them was, what can we do more of? And they said, well, you gave me this report, but you didn't, and you told me what was wrong. It was great, and
but you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly right.
You didn't give me a
solutions.
Yeah, so I want to. So basically, so we started referring other asbestos removal companies, and customer service is just terrible, basically.
Yeah.
And the quality of just the follow up, and it's not great. So just bringing that into the gyms group system and following the system, those franchisees.
So tell me how it actually started. Tell me, you had the idea of asbestos removal because you were getting poor service from other companies.
Yeah.
So how did you go about starting Jim's asbestos removal?
Well, it was actually,
as it was in the beginning.
It was actually a franchisee from New South Wales, Bill O'Grady, sent me an email and said, "How about this division?" So it always been on the back burner or whatever. And when he sent that email, I just thought, all right, well let's.
So what did you do? What did you do then?
Called you, I think.
That's it, simple as that.
I just wanted to point out that it's a very informal way of doing things, Jim. You just pick up the phone, call Jim. Yeah. Jim has a look at it, says this sounds good, and then we start from there. So,
yeah, I think Sylvia was running documents.
Yeah, Sylvia helps you with the setup and everything else.
And then I think we started with Sam, Bill, and myself. Sam, Bill's still a franchisor in New South Wales. I think he is. Yeah. And then so it's pretty easy to start the division. I mean, it's very approachable, but it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get a division.
Because you have to write the manuals, don't you?
Yeah.
All the franchising stuff is done, and the generics training is the same, and all that kind of stuff. But the actual specifics of the website and the manual is something you have to do as a divisional.
Yeah. And if you need systems like a reporting app or other things that the industry needs, your point of difference has to be better. I mean, the call centre for starters, like answering the phone in that world, in that asbestos world, and in building inspection straight away is a huge plus straight away. But then you need point of difference like 24-hour reporting, or you need a point of difference in the market to sort of shine or stand out.
Yeah.
So you've got to invest your time and money into that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's a great intro as well, and background, and obviously hazardous waste removal. I want to get into you more about an inventor in a minute, because I want to get some questions and stuff that are coming through here.
Yeah.
So there's been a couple that come through for Paul and stuff like that, and some comments as well. So thanks to everyone for watching. If you're on the live feed, leave us a question or comment. We'll try and get to as many as we can. Give us a like and help us out. If you're watching on the other pages, make sure you head to the Jim's Group page and leave your comments so I can see it in the live feed and get it through to the guys. So Kim McGavick from Dogwash has gone here from Jim's Dogwash New Zealand. Thanks for watching, Kim. Sonia Beasley, interested? Join Sonia. And James Mitchell, hi there, Jim's team. James Mitchell was actually our logo comp winner, so Jim's looking forward to meeting you.
Yes, we are. Special trip to Melbourne
That's
and dinner.
it.
Yeah.
And Dale Charles has gone, Jim is a legend. We tend to get that every week. Jim's a legend. Jim's God or something. Jim should start a religion.
Jim is a legend, a mythical person for the past. He doesn't actually exist. I mean, there's different ways of interpreting legend, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. If you want to do it the literal way, that's a good compliment. And James Mitchell goes, so you don't get the services for free, Jim? Question mark.
No, it doesn't.
Pays like definitely pays.
We are very good users of gyms. We're not rigid about it. If we can't find what we want, we'll get somebody outside. But I always like gyms people because they're just reliable. Not the cheapest, but they're just good.
And Jason Pollock is always tuned in, so thanks for watching, Jason. Joseph Hutt's
I'd like to recommend them too. So if somebody asked me for a car cleaner, I go into the system and I find someone with a great star rating, and I refer them on. Like my sister wants security, or someone else wanted car cleaning or carpets or anything else. I will go and find out somebody good, and I'll refer them directly, so I know that person's going to give great service.
And Joseph Hutt's, well done, Paul. You've done well, which is great. I think Jason's a member of the public, so that's awesome to have that. And Steve Raymond, so a question for you here, Paul. Do Jim's Building Inspections do building surveying, that is plan approval stage inspections, or is it only pre-purchase insurance inspections, etc.?
So the main services we do are pre-purchase building inspections for someone looking at buying a house, asbestos, depreciation schedules, and we do new con, which is like slab frame, lock up and handover, but we're only working for the client. We're not doing. We do have some in Victoria, if you're talking about building surveyors. In the other states they're called different things, like certifiers, but we do have some of them on our team. So we generally refer that work to them, but if any surveyors are looking at coming on board, there's definitely heaps of work for them. They can't handle all the surveyors we do have in the team can't handle the work. But yeah, our core business is pre-purchase asbestos, dilapidation inspections. That's becoming more and more when someone's about to build. It used to be in the good old days when I was building, you just took out your phone and took a couple of photos of next door and a couple of photos of that side and hope for the best. But, in the litigious world that we live in now, dilapidation inspections are, you get a full inspection done, the builder will get a full inspection done on both properties either side, to avoid client or the neighbours coming in and say, oh, that crack, you made that crack there.
Yeah.
So even Vic Roads, we've done a lot of work for Vic Roads where they're building roads, and we'll have to inspect hundreds of houses on the road. So
that's a good contract.
The franchisees come to us with help when they need to put a proposal in, or so we're continuously helping franchisees, and I always say to franchisees, act like you're the divisional, act like there's no hierarchy at all in our franchise group. Like the franchisees are doing better than a lot of the franchisors, to be honest. So the franchisees has the power to get contracts, get team members in, run the whole contract if you want. If you need help with divisional or your franchisor, the support's there. So it's really up to them to go out and sell and get these contracts everywhere. I was looking yesterday. There's just a whole raft of them, federal and state government contracts we can pick up inspections for.
We have an enormous amount of entrepreneurial ability amongst our franchisees. People look at the franchisor, but as you say, some of our top franchisees are making millions of dollars a year, turning over millions. It's just quite extraordinary how much money you can make in these kinds of businesses. That's not typical, of course, but some of them do.
It's a great question, Stephen. Thanks for leaving that one for Paul. It's a good chance to win. So jump on, people watching. There's some people watching, which is great. Leave your comments or questions there for Paul or Jim, and we'll get to as many as we can. Specific question for you, Jim. Now, Joseph's been very smart. He's listened to what I said at the start. Hi Jim, what would be the best scientific discovery you would be proud of? Haven't had that one before.
I would be proud of making myself.
That's what I believe he would mean. Yes.
Actually, what I'm working on is a system to look at the ways of changing human temperament to make people more long-term thinking. In evolutionary term, we call it slow life history strategy. And we're looking at using biochemistry or epigenetics to actually help people to think longer term. The typical example is drug addiction, where people think very short term, what's going to make me feel good right now, as opposed to what's going to make me feel good in a week's time. Or study, study now, learn now, so I can make more in the future. So we've done experiments with rats to suggest that you can actually radically change people's behaviour and temperament for the better and make them happier, more productive, and more successful. That is the great thing, and that could actually change history, because apart from anything else, I believe it's the root cause of poverty. If we can actually change temperament in a way that makes people productive and successful and good at things like engineering and so forth, those who want to be, of course, then you could change the world. You could do more than $1 trillion worth of aid. So that is what I'm after, and that is a great question.
That is a great question, Joseph. Well done. I think he's going to mark it down.
I'm going to mark that down as a
So anything
good
for Jim,
candidate.
history, science, Simpsons, anything villains, Palpatine, that sort of stuff, leave it on there. Now, Paul, with you, now I'm going to leverage that into your inventor, because Paul's an inventor as well. I had no idea about this until I did the interview with Paul. And maybe you want to tell us a bit about Greenzone and the painting and all that sort of stuff and what it does.
Yeah, sure. So coming as a builder, went into the pest control world. I didn't know anything about ants or cockroaches or mice or pest control itself. But I found my niche because I was able to read plans and read big commercial building plans, and these pest controllers were really struggling to these big brand new buildings, government buildings, or needed a new. So the Go was an actual product, like a physical product. Nowadays we call them chemical impregnated products, but they used to be called physical termite barriers. So it was pretty basic. Like you had to add up the linear meters around the perimeter of a building and how many pipe penetrations, but it was very daunting to a pest control. So I was able to find a niche going into the pest control world in termite barriers only.
Yeah.
So it's a form of termite barrier that you put around the building.
When you join the build.
So the products we're using back in the day were sheet barriers called cordon. That was one I particularly used. But I always on site, builders all around the world use a thing called expansion joint foam. It squishes. It's 10 mil thick and 100 mil high or 200 mil. And basically, just everywhere where termites can penetrate a building, around pipe penetrations, we lag with this lagging or Abelflex or expansion joint foam. And in construction joints, when concrete's getting poured up one day, the engineers and surveyors want to see this expansion joint foam.
Yep.
So basically, put a provisional pattern in. You couldn't believe one of the big players like Bayer or FMC or BASF, they're big players in the pest control kind of world in Australia and overseas. Surely they've done this. Like put what we normally spray is a chemical called bifenthrin to synthetic pyrethrum.
But they hadn't done it.
They hadn't.
And you painted it where? In Australia?
Australia first, and then now America, Europe, China. All over the world where there's termites, basically.
So have you started to work? Have you started to sell these things?
Yeah. We've only been on the market. It was about 9 years in the making for certificates and trial and testing and things. And so we've been on the market for about 16, 17 months, and sales are going well. So yeah, we've just sort of moved into Singapore, and the US is the big one. Australia's quite small. So there's a good market for the US.
Yep.
So while testing around it, we've got it tested for termites and ants and cockroaches. So it's a repellent for ants and cockroaches as well. So, but these expansion joint foams did a trip to America and a little bit overseas, and I was very happy to see that the expansion joint foams were used more than ever over over there than here. So
it's now about just pushing those markets. Now you can focus
Yeah.
more. You've done all the development, all the hard work. Now you just got to do
yeah,
the
I mean, you can have the best product in the world, but you still got to
market.
Go
people.
market it. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's brilliant.
But
That's
the gyms,
awesome.
having gyms building inspections has been great for Greenzone. Just knowing how to market, just basic marketing things, and then you go different levels. But in Australia, we're getting good uptake with the product. So we just sell it to the distributors where pest controllers buy their products from, basically. So
people punch into Google Greenzone, you can learn more about it, and an interview, Paul goes into in depth about it. So we get to a few more comments on here on the feed. So Dave Rump from Jim's Dog Wash, Western New South Wales, tuned in. So thanks, Dave, for watching. Liz Tenhoop and Jim. I'll get to that question in a minute, Liz. Liz Tenhoop and hi from Jim's Dog Wash, South Australia. She's a top fan. On Facebook, you can have top fans now. So people who interact with your page all the time, they get a little diamond next to them saying top fan. So she's a top fan. That's Liz Tenhooper now. Jim's Meeming's tuned in. Jim's Meeming's tuned in again. And Rebecca said some comment here. Would you have cut, I can't even read this, Menelaus of Sparta's grass and sparked a Trojan war?
Menelaus of Sparta.
Here we go. Oh, that's a great question.
Grass.
All right.
Would I have cut his
And
grass?
sparked the Trojan War. So it's very witty and very clever. Obviously above my head, so I've got no idea. You understand?
who was he?
Well, what happened actually is that Paris of Troy, who's the Prince of Troy, came and seduced Helen, who was Menelaus's wife.
I've seen the movie.
Took it back to Troy. You've seen the movie, that's right. So he's saying, could lawn mowing have started that? Well, who knows? I mean, people get very, very precious about their lawns. So it could
It's
happen.
very close to Trojan War.
Trojan.
So going, above my head by a mile.
I used to one of my books used to be called The Face That Launched 1,000 Trailers. So it's nearly 4,000 now, so it's a bit out of date. But
Face that launched 1,000 ships back in the day. Start a war.
It's a reference to
Very, very
War.
clever, Rebecca.
Thank
Very,
you.
very well done. I'll go down to some of the comments here. Jim's Meeming, thanks for tuning in. Stephanie Paddock's tuning in from Jim's Termite and Pest Control. Hi, Stephanie. Now, Liz has gone here a question. Jim, I believe you like rats. What is it you like about them? Jim's favourite animal is the rat, for those of you who don't know.
Rats are just incredible survivors. Rats, everybody's against the rat. They're not some sensible animals that'll go extinct at nothing. They survive no matter you poison them, which I do actually. When they try and get at my chook's food, you poison them, you hunt them, you trap them, and they still flourish. I just admire them. They're battlers. They're winners.
They say cockroaches survive.
Yeah, that's right.
Nuclear holocaust, yeah.
But rats are kind of relatives of ours too. We also use them in our experiments too, in its development of this scientific stuff. We try and treat them as nicely as possible, but I think they're great experimental animals. They're quite friendly too when you handle laboratory rats. They're not the same as people think of rats as being.
I'm not really into.
What about you, Paul? Do you have a favourite animal? Do you have dogs or something?
Yeah,
Cool pets.
I like horses.
Horses?
Yeah, I haven't ridden one for a while, but yeah. One day when I get a farm one. But mate's got some, and tells me they're very expensive to keep. So.
Yes, that's definitely true.
Yeah, horse riding is fun. I worked on a farm once when I was about 18 and used to ride a horse around the place whenever I could. It was fun.
There you go. So Jason Pollock's gone. He's a RF a pool cow. I like the size of the Jim's Group mug. Yes, it's very big. Lots of coffee you can put in there. Phil Williams is a top fan now. So he's got a little top fan badge. He's gone Jim's phone repair. I think we're looking at it.
Mobile phone repair, yeah. It's one of the ones we're looking at right now. Be a great one too.
And Phil, he's gone again. Hi, Jim. So hi, Phil. And Dave Schultz has gone, Jim's wingman need Jim's security or Jim's bouncers.
We've got Jim's security.
We do have Jim's security.
But not Jim's bouncers as yet.
No, not Jim's bouncers. I don't know how that would go, going with the black T-shirt and having the logo with a bit of a... Yeah, maybe put a bit more size on Jim to make it a bit more intimidating.
Yeah, they have numbers. You could be like franchisee number 1.
Yeah, FSC 1, FSC 2, FSC 3.
Actually, I can be pretty fierce when one of my customers gets upset, or one of my franchisees for that matter, if they've not been treated well. So you don't want to cross me when I'm...
Rob Ellis from Jim's Batteries in Warragul's tuned in. So hi, Rob. You're doing really well based on the customer feedback I see in the batteries page. Everyone watching, great. Appreciate you watching. Leave a comment or question. We'll get to as many as we can. I'm not missing anything, so... We're getting to as many as we can see in the feed. If you're leaving comments and questions on the other page, please leave them in the Jim's Group page. I'm not ignoring them. I just can't see them in real time. But I've got Jake trying to monitor and doing a great job sending them through. So James Mitchell's gone here. Also, Jim, what niche were you most sceptical about that surprised you? So what service that started up were you surprised most done so well?
Building inspection.
Building inspection, yeah.
No, cleaning, because I never thought in the beginning that it would extend beyond mowing.
Right.
And then things like dog wash, which were female-oriented, or bookkeeping. By the time building inspection came along, I thought, wow, fantastic. One of the things that I loved about, and this is getting back to building inspections again, is that we have a very strong advantage when it comes to the trust factor. The more scary something is, the more likely they are to use gyms because the concepts are going to get wrong. Like if you have your lawn mowed, for example, if you get it cut badly, somebody comes in 2 weeks and does it again. But if somebody does an inspection on your house and you miss out on $50,000 worth of repairs that need to be done, you don't want to come back and say, oops, and have that someone disappear.
No, the brand works.
The brand is very powerful in anything that involves fear. Fencing is another example of things like paving or those kinds of things where there's a lot of fear potentially in what we do. We do very well in those kinds of areas.
Well, the comment that annoys me, I see a lot on the social, is that they go, I'd rather support independent, local independent, which they don't realise we are. But the benefit we have is if something, like not a lot, great to support local independent business, but if something goes wrong, where's your recourse? You've got a local independent franchisee who is a local independent business owner, and if something does go wrong, touch on what it doesn't, there is a big brand behind it to come in.
And the point of it is too, it's what we like to point out is that 92% of the money actually goes to the franchisee on average. The other 8% comes for things like marketing and support and help and everything else. See, I had a friend who had a windscreen business and he was a proud independent, but he would spend 20% of his revenue on marketing.
Well,
20%.
We had that question last week from David John Grant. What's the monthly payback to gyms? So obviously you're telling me about it now.
Well, it depends on the division, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
No,
you know,
that'd be right.
typical fees are about $700-800 a month. Most divisions. I don't know what yours would be.
Yeah, a little bit more, about 900.
900, yeah, because it's a tiny division, and something like antennas or skip bins would be higher still. So it a bit depends on the earning potential. But most divisions like mowing, cleaning, dog wash, handyman, they're around about that $7, which is just say a couple $100 a week or a bit less.
We'd be up to $100 an hour easily.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. And how many jobs can you guys generally do a day? How many building inspections?
We like to stick it to 3. 3's a big day, you know. If you're doing 4 or 5, you're starting to really miss things, or not concentrating. So try and peg it back to 3.
So thanks to everyone watching. Alana and Ron Sadowski have tuned in. So Alana and Ron, you can read about it in the Jim's book. They're in there.
Yes. Ron's my first ever, one of my first 2 franchisors.
He is too, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's done a good deal on Queensland.
Oh, he did. He got the whole rights to Jim's Mowing in Queensland for $75,000. And then he turned around and split off the Gold Coast for $95,000. Are you ripping somebody off? I almost said to the guy who bought it, how can you possibly pay so much? That business is now Jim's Gold Coast worth best part of $1 million. So he made a pretty good deal.
So thanks everyone for commenting on the feed. I'm getting to everything that you leave there. So make sure if you've got any questions for Jim or Paul, just leave it in there. I'll get to it. We're going through as many as we can on the Jim's group page, because if you're doing them in the other ones, I can't see them. So I've got a question here from last week, which I want to ask you guys now. Now, basically, Nellie Irwin suggested, can existing franchisees attend the training again if they want to?
Yes, love to.
Have you had anyone ever come to the training again? Couple, yeah, cool. So you can. What's the best way?
Choice.
Not by choice. Oh, yeah. But maybe do you want to? What's the best way for them to do that, Jim? If it's a current franchisee wants to come back and get a bit refreshed, or
just-
get
just-
invigorated?
They get a little bit complacent sometimes.
So send me an email. Sometimes if somebody's not understanding the system, I say, and they say, well, wasn't told me this. I say, well, come back and do the training again. You'll learn all about it over again. So they mostly don't.
They do. The second time around, they really pick up a lot.
What we love to do, have franchisors come back and do the franchisor training. That is a great thing, and they can get their training points from that. And it's a wonderful thing for the course too, because you've got an experienced franchisor there talking about what they've actually experienced. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, do you know what happens? The advanced
Great
one's
asset.
good because I do one of the sessions in there, and Jim does as well, and they interact with each other. So they've been in there for 10 years or 15 years, and they're telling from their experience, right? So even if you're a new one who's been around a year or two.
Actually, Ron Sadowski came back and did retrain. Not that he needed to, just as part of his whole. And it was a wonderful session. He was just talking about the advantages of pay for work guarantee and how he eagerly pays it and why it's such a great idea to pay it promptly and easily, and how positive that makes his franchisees.
Well, Cameron Scott's gone here. The advanced FSO training is well worth doing, so appreciate that, Cameron. And he's come recently from and did it. He's electrical and tennis.
The advanced stuff is more about a lot of IT and stuff like that too. A lot of FMS.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff, but it's just good also to them to meet with other Zors and they get international and talk to people and walk around.
We love to get people back in. It's great to have our franchise. We actually, if a franchisor has a franchisee in training, we actually give them a couple of free meals to come and stay with us, because not just to support the franchisee, because also it gets to us to contact them, recontact with them again, and for them to talk to other people, become part of a community.
No, definitely. So thanks for that one. So everyone's watching, that's great. Just leave some comments or questions and I'll keep going on there, but I reckon we want to get these books given away to the best questions, so make sure you leave a question in there for Paul And Jim, we're getting to as many as we can and giving you shout outs, etc. So basically, I'll get to a couple of the questions that were left last week and I missed because we didn't have time. Shane Sturngess, via this was left on the Jim's Mowing page, has gone, have you ever considered Jim's debt collection to close the loop?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But what you need is somebody who's in that industry.
Yeah, you need
Like Paul knew the industry. Even though he was a pest control franchisee, he had a background and he understood it and he knew how to go about it. And that's the great thing. So you put the industry experience with the franchising experience together, and it's actually remarkably easy to start a new business.
How do you guys managing debt management? Is there much problem with that one? Or is it a bit different to your service?
We don't. We're pretty good because it's one of the main attractions for the building inspectors coming and looking at our business because they're always chasing money as a builder. You're always continuously chasing money and payments and things, but we pretty much don't send out reports until we've been paid. So we have. That's
cool. You can actually withhold that sort of that value, a bit of and then away you go.
I mean, we'll say that, but look, everyone's so. We never have problems really. Like guys send out reports and the customer will say, yeah, I'll put it in your account and it's fine. But
I never used to have much trouble as a mowing contractor. You know, if I wouldn't even have 1% bad debts in the time I was mowing lawns. And it's just, people just often leave. Most people are pretty decent with tradies.
You always, we do so many inspections. You get the odd franchise that you ring up and say, oh, what am I going to do about?
Yeah.
But, it's just. We're very good. We don't have any problems at all.
Cool. I'll get to some questions here that are coming through. Thanks for leaving these comments and questions, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to read them up.
But if there is anybody out there with a background in the debt collection industry, come and talk to me.
Exactly right. We've been looking for a solution. Yeah, all the time. So I'll get one to here. So Joseph Hupp's gone, I like Paul's Greenzone termite barrier. That is a great invention. Yes, it is. Thanks for that, Joseph. Kane Lazenby's gone, it's a bit of a funny one. Hi, Jim. What about Jim's divorce settlements? I think we need some true blue Aussie service in this department.
Lawyers, Jim's legal. We're talking to a lady right now about Jim's legal. We're ethical legal services. That is one of the things I really, really, really want to do.
So they can maybe have a service of divorce settlements. Kane, I don't know from your profile picture you look like you're in that space yet. But
lawyers can be the worst scumbags in the world. And I tell you from personal experience, and they can be some of the best and most productive, decent citizens you could possibly imagine. My own in-house lawyer, Harpreet, perfect example. Right. She's wonderful. Wonderful, very, very ethical. Now, if we can get an organisation where ethical lawyers can act, and because of our feedback system, if they start acting in the wrong way, like screwing people for huge amounts of money, then they won't last very long. So I'd love to do divorce settlements to be a fantastic one, because divorce is horrible. And I've been through 3 of them, so I know what it's like. And
she's easy on the eye as well.
She is very very attractive.
No.
Sorry, Harpreet, if you're watching.
Oh, yeah, probably is, but yeah. Well,
she's actually single too.
No. Is she? No. We'll leave this. Yeah. No. All right, we'll move on. Peter Dolan here has gone, Jim, what do you have to say about the CIA coup of the Gough Whitlam government? How can we trust an ally that will so willingly dispose a democratically elected leader of this country? It's a different one.
Sorry, Peter, but there's no such thing. The Whitlam government got to be very unpopular, and it got to be very on the nose with the Australian public, and it was the Liberal Party blocked supply.
Well, he's asked another one here. This reminds me of like an ABC Live Q&A question now, this one. It's gone, Jim, how can you justify perpetuating the capitalist lifestyle knowing this is the very economic principles killing the planet?
It's actually the capitalist lifestyle is also the principle that means that people today can expect to live to like 80, 85 years old, whereas in the past your life expectancy was in the 20s, okay? Modern dentistry, for example, the fact that people no longer have to die of famine. Now, I think we can do a lot more for sustainability, and I think we must, and I'm firmly a believer in things like, decarbonising the economy and making the thing work better and redistributing wealth. But capitalism creates wealth. I mean, my wife grew up in Mao's China. She was born during the Cultural Revolution. And this is a country where, they didn't fall for this capitalistic garbage. And people died in their tens of millions because they believed in socialism. Now, you look at what's going on now and ask people if they'd like to go back to the 1950s and the Great Leap Forward and all this central thing. Now, I'm a great believer in capitalism. I think we need to manage the environment a lot better. But I'll tell you what, the wealth and the independence and the creativity, like you look at something like a termite barrier. If you were working for the government and you were only paid the same salary, would you put all that blood, sweat and tears in developing that termite barrier? Of course you wouldn't. Why
Absolutely
would you?
not.
What's the benefit to you? Why would I do what I do if it was just simply I get paid the same wage by the government and you know, no, capitalism is great. Capitalism is brilliant. So sorry, I'm not one of those.
Yeah, thanks for that question, Peter.
But thank you for the question.
That's a very... I don't know if you got anything to add to that, Paul? I'll just throw it... No, you don't have to add to it, it's all right. Okay, so I'll go down here. So JD Powell has gone, hello. So hello, Jay. Michael King's gone, thanks for the book, Jim. Very inspirational read. Hopefully one day I can send you a book of my own with my own autograph.
Yes, why not?
Lol, if you are giving more books out, I'll definitely put my hand up. Leave a question or a comment. That's what you got to do, Michael. Probably a question and anything political science, that sort of stuff. Or for Paul as well, because Paul's awarding a book. So leave a question or a comment in there. Derek Spice has gone here. Tell the story about the butcher who said you even look like the guy in the trailer. So maybe something on the book.
Oh, that's yeah. Because I used to go around when I had a beard, and I used to dress in Jim's green, which I did for many years until the other division started to grow. I walked into a butcher shop one day, and this guy said, "G'day, Jim," and I said, "G'day," and he said, "Your name's not really Jim, is it?" I said, "Well, actually, it is." And he said, "You know, you even look like him." So
Did you get called Jim at all back when you were franchisee or anything like that, or?
No, not much. No, but some of my franchisees say they get called Jim. Yeah.
That is the funny thing. Somebody say, "Yeah, I'm Tony." Yeah, "G'day, Jim."
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, they think they're Jim, but they don't think I am. I am not recognised. People ask me actually if I meet them casually, you know, what do you do? I said, I run a business that organises cleaning and gardening and stuff. I don't actually tell people.
There you go. So Robin Dalton Nolan's gone for a suggestion here. Maybe have some of the wives come down for training. There are probably a few of us that have come on board now that our husbands are part of gyms. Being a franchisee, we are pretty proactive with our husband's business.
We would love more wives and more partners to come. It's ideal.
Yeah, we'll always pay for the wife to come to training.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, your division does.
Yeah, our division does. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant actually because the businesses. In fact, one of the rules that I say to franchisors at training: never ever sell a franchise to somebody whose partner is not in favour, because it's tough enough.
Yeah.
You need that level of support.
And the husband going home interstate, like to Queensland or Perth or even Melbourne, and explaining everything. It's
and to be honest, it's generally the lady who will make the final decision to get the equity or whatever they need to do. It's generally the...
But not only that, but it's actually striking how many couples are actually... Your husband buys a franchise and the wife thinks, this is great, and she buys another one. Like Nicole Wood, for example. Husband is a very successful David Wood mowing franchisee in Melbourne. Wife bought... She was on last week.
Yeah.
That's how that happened. And so she
cleaning franchise
saw how successful he was, and then went into interior design, and now she's a successful cleaning franchise. Yeah. So there's the partners have got, or another couple I know where actually they both dog wash, and they split the trailer. Yeah. The wife does the school hours and he does the other hours and the weekends and stuff. So we love partners to get involved.
It's getting a few likes that comment too, so that's a good suggestion, Robin.
Yes.
Definitely, please do that if you can. So Belinda Hadley's tuned in from Hi from Jim's Dog Wash, Northern Queensland, and hi Belinda, and you're one of the hashtag Jim's Logo Comp winners. So we said hopefully get your book soon. Jacqueline Taylor's gone on one of the other feeds. Who is your entrepreneurial idol or aspiration? That's a question for you, Jim. Who is your entrepreneurial idol or aspiration?
Well, a lot of people actually. I certainly admire Elon Musk. I know he's a bit getting in trouble with Tesla, but he's just an amazing guy. I love the dream. That's why I gave Jim space travel
one of the prizes, yes,
one of the prizes, because I think this whole vision of landing on Mars. What he's done I find with SpaceX actually more exciting than anything. That he's actually worked out a way of building rockets, getting them into space at a fraction of the price of anybody else. And these vast government programs with billions and tens of billions of dollars, and he's able to do it cost effectively. I think he's an amazing guy, and in his ability. There's a wonderful biography by Ashley Vance about him, which I just read a short while ago, and I'm full of admiration. But people like Henry Ford too. That's a great story. He became very cranky in his old age, but the way that he just cut the costs. When they had that big plant, they would actually put the raw materials at one end, and they just a stream of cars coming out the other. The whole thing was done in this giant plant, and he kept on dropping the costs and getting the efficiency up. He's an amazing guy.
What about you, Paul? Do you have any business leaders or anyone you sort of look up to?
And Ray Kroc from McDonald's too. Great example.
But you don't like the food?
Food's terrible.
Yeah, I like Branson's style sometimes, and read his books, and Jim's a mentor as well. I'm always trying to get in tune with Jim and what's going on, and
because you guys are quite active at the Divisional, which people don't know. We have a quarterly Divisional meeting, and the building inspection guys interact a lot, and you're always bringing forward suggestions and changing. So you're quite interactive there. Yeah.
No, the franchisor, the group is dynamic, So I think there's 15 or 16 of them, so they're growing. But there's lots of things get done at Divisional. But it's always exciting and challenging. There's always...
It's changing, isn't it? Every time you come back, there's something new happening.
Yeah. So, you got to, like I said before, you need a point of difference. Just the brand is great, but you also need to be different and stand out to the competitors.
Yeah, you do need a POD in everything you do. I'll get some questions on the comments, so that's great. Leave your comments in here. I'm going to try and get to as many as I can right now. So there's one here from David McDonald. We do a lot of camping. Can I get my camper trailer signed with Jim's Camping? I'm an antenna franchisee in Horsham. I don't know. Do you want to allow him to do a Jim's Camping meme on his trailer? He's not making money out of it.
We don't know. There's the Jim's Brazilians that people keep on pointing out.
The wicked camper van.
I don't really mind as long as it's clearly a joke.
So David, it's okay, I would say.
Just don't try and sell it as if we make the traders, because if they do turn it to be crappy, I don't want to be responsible. That's all.
I think it'll appreciate in value when he puts that on the Jim's Camping. People might get a bit of interest about it. You never know.
I don't mind.
I'd say do it, David. Go for it. Okay, so I'll get to a few comments here. So Robert says, well said. David McDonald goes, I get called Jim all the time. He's a franchisee. Josh from Cleaning's going, we need more women in the Jim's group. I completely agree with you.
Yes.
Is there any women's... I know it's probably not. Is there?
We have...
How many?
3.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, they're great, and they're really good operators. Maybe 4, actually. Yeah, there's one in W.
And they were all previous building backgrounds? Or?
Yeah. A lot of them, they got highly skilled, actually. Got diploma,
Oh, really?
Good. Actually, one of our challenges is to create divisions that are female friendly, which dog wash is obviously a classic example. Bookkeeping is also very female friendly. Conveyancing, a lot of those conveyancers tend to be. Yeah. And we talked about last Jim's poop removal too, which is a perfect one for women, because it's low cost and not physically demanding, but also needs to get on with dogs and stuff. So we'd love to have more.
That conveyancing, right? A lot of them.
Yeah.
Conveyancing.
Bookkeeping, a lot of women in bookkeeping.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of them as well.
Yeah, the lady, female building inspectors in our division are really good. Have really good businesses going, and they're very good at what they do. They've never had complaints.
Actually often find in a division that's typically male, the women are especially good. We find that in mowing too. There's not a lot of women who are lawn mowing franchisees, but they tend to be absolutely great because they love gardening. They don't do it because it's the sort of thing you do because you're a man. They do it because they're passionate about gardens, and they tend to be... The clients love them. They really, really love them.
Yeah, that's a great comment, Josh, and we definitely need more women. So if you're a woman watching, you're thinking about it, definitely do it. Yeah. Go to gyms.net and look at all the services you can do.
Or even if you've got a background in some female-friendly business, come and talk to us. It's remarkably easy to start a new division in gyms.
Well, if you heard about it, I was on a napkin and...
Yes.
Right. So jim@gyms.net is his email as well. Or
were you surprised when that happened so easily?
Yes.
You didn't think you had a big plan and all this sort of stuff, and
it's amazingly casual way for a business that's now the biggest in the country in its field to start, isn't it? Just ring up your friend, ring up Jim, and just say I've got an idea, and pull out a napkin and let's go for it.
So here we go. Robin's gone with a follow-up. Hi guys, sometimes the wives are motivated and get more motivated than the husbands and have left their career to come on board to make gyms a family business. Something to think about. Totally agree with you, Robin. It is a truly family business, and anyone who's a partner of a franchisee, or franchisor, encourage you to come along and come down. Definitely, please do it. Absolutely. So I'll get to a few of the comments that are coming on the other pages. So Jacqueline Taylor's gone here. Speaking of Henry Ford, my favourite quote of all time is, if I had asked them what they wanted, they would have said faster horses.
Yes.
What do you feel is the biggest innovation you have brought to the public? So what have you innovated and brought to the public, Jim, that you think? We've got an innovator over here. He's an inventor. So Paul's answer is the Greenzone, I would say.
Okay, I'd say voting out franchisors, actually.
What is a franchisor?
Lucky I'm a division.
Well, no, you can go down to Divisional, which actually I was as the Divisional.
Wasn't there a change just
The
recently?
computer services, they didn't like me. They said, we don't want you running it. So I sold it to somebody else at a loss. So it applies to me as well, because we just weren't good at running that division. But I think it's the only franchising system in the world where the franchisees can vote out the franchisor or even change to a different franchisor. I am very proud of the innovation. Now, it doesn't happen very much. It's actually quite rare, but that's because every franchisor and every divisional knows you've got to look after your people. And I am a franchisor and a divisional for several divisions, so I've got the same incentives as anybody else.
Yeah.
I am very proud of developing a system where the culture and the contracts are so pro-franchisees, and the kind of things that happen to companies like Retail Food Group and the garbage that went on with those people, which makes me really see red, could not happen in gyms. Because our system, our basic contracts, as well as our culture, would not allow it.
Well, maybe I probably answered it for you, but I shouldn't have. But what about you, Paul, with what you're doing with building inspections? Obviously, you're an inventor, but what else maybe do you feel you've done a little bit different that you've brought to
I think one of the biggest, and it's certainly expensive, but our app development, and it's like when I first started app development, it cost so much, but the technology from 2012 built on the 2011 platform. I'm just going through a whole new rebuild at the moment, but you just can't foresee these. Like, I mean, we're on an ISO product, like an Apple product, so we need to, we need to keep reinventing ourselves and doing this new app development. It's crucial for the speed and the keeping up with the industry. We'll be out of this new technology. I mean, you look at Jim's got heaps of app developers around. It's just ongoing, isn't it?
We're spending close to $2 million a year on IT development right now. Most just software development.
There's nothing like that, but it's a few $100,000 that didn't have in my budget. But you have to do it. You've got to keep, whether the franchisees get on board, the franchisors stink up, a bit of fuss now and then, but like I'll get paid back in about 50 years' time, if I'm $40 a month.
I know what you mean. How much it costs them.
But you've got to keep up with the technology, and sometimes you miss these things in the contracts and stuff, but you got to do it. Like,
it moves so quick though as well. It's going to get obviously more slow.
Otherwise we get left behind, and
IT is the future. People don't think of it in terms of mowing lawns and building inspections and stuff, but it's absolutely the way to go. It's the key advantage that we've got, I think, in many ways.
Taking photos, taking videos, and getting it to the customer, and the format and the speed, and you've got to keep up with the tech all the time. So
it definitely moves really quickly, and I feel sorry for some business owners who just think I've got to now worry about my business, but now I've got to worry about this technology side and try and learn a bit about that, and obviously keep that on track. But you're right, it just gets quicker and quicker. So one of the there's a question here as well. Thanks for that question. That was really good, Jacqueline. Mitchell's gone here. Mitchell Pay. G'day, Jim. What Beatles album do you prefer? Sgt. Pepper's or Revolver? P.S. It's my mate Jesse Giller's 21st birthday. So happy birthday, Jesse.
I like Abbey Road, actually.
Abbey Road, I was going to say.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got a friend who loves that album.
Yes.
What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I just like the best of.
Best of?
Yeah, is it best of album?
That was like a number one, that red one with the one in the
Abbey
middle.
Road's pretty good. Yeah. The kids like that in the car.
Yeah.
Everyone bops along to that. If they're going away somewhere.
Well, mind you, Beatles are all right, but I got to say my favourite all time would be Keith Green. He's a Christian singer, so it's culturally more along the way I think. But Abbey Road's good. Beatles are good. Yeah.
So you like so that's one of your favourite artists. What do you like, Paul? What else do you like about that?
I'm known through my close friends and family. I play guitar and
you play guitar,
sing a little bit. So I like an Australian singer called John Williamson. He sings the True Blue.
True
song.
Blue, yeah.
I don't actually like playing that song all the time, but he's got heaps of other really good songs. So
we can get you to perform at the Gala dinner maybe in a couple of weeks' time. Get you up there.
Maybe.
Put you on the spot.
But but my close, I'm sort of known to pull out the guitar.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What can you play? What stuff do you play? Do you play
mainly John Williamson
Tommy
songs.
Emmanuel, anything like that? John Williamson songs?
Yeah. I used to be in a band at school, and later sort of thing. We had a couple of pub gigs, but we were all right. We were called Southern Influence.
Southern Influence.
Yeah, but our lead singer, Simon Nugent, is on the road. He's a full-time musician. He's
Yeah.
doing very well. Yeah, so
Oh,
he's,
good on him.
He's taking it further.
We help with the girls as well back in school. It's always good to help playing the guitar.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I know from experience. Don't worry about that. Misha Watson's responded to Robin here and's gone, maybe Jim's head office needs a child minding facility to help more of the wives' partners to attend, especially flying from Perth, and both parents at training presents lots of problems to come over, which is true. So child minding facility.
We'd like to do it. The trouble is there's very hefty regulations in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We'd like to do
there
it.
actually is,
We'd like to do it for staff too if we could, but
I mind a lot of children in my corner over there. So.
it's so intensely.
Yeah.
You got your harem over there with all your,
Oh, yeah,
your girls.
yeah, I can put another couple of kids in the corner. So
Sometimes they bring in their kids to work actually, but
Yeah.
regulations make it extremely difficult to do that kind of stuff. We'd love to,
It's a
but
great suggestion, yeah, it's really
Yeah.
regulated. And Haydar's tuned in again, so welcome to Haydar watching, I think, hopefully
from Cyprus.
from Cyprus.
Hey, Haida, you got to send me a picture of that place in Cyprus. And also, how's your emails going? Are you getting through your emails? He gets logged up with the emails.
I've seen a picture of his house in Cyprus. He had a cow in the front yard or something.
No, you got to send me a picture.
He
of
takes a picture of the view just to rub it in. He just
Yeah.
goes, there's the beach and whatever, and there's the view to rub it in.
Yeah, right on the
So
ocean.
welcome to watching. So Robin's gone for another suggestion. This family thing's picking up. So someone's gone here. Liz has gone, we should start up a Jim's group band. Well, you got a guitar player over here. Don't know, Jim, are you much of a singer,
Did you
Jim?
play an instrument?
No.
Did you play an instrument in school or anything?
No, I'm not musical. If I'm in the car, I listen to talking books. I want to listen to something about history or business or science or anything. I like music, but you know, I'm a man of the word.
People always ask me, what did Jim like? You know, I say, yeah, he's
Pretty nerdy, actually.
yeah, and I say,
Not cool or trendy at all. My kids are always telling me this.
one thing I would say is, like if you talk sport or cricket
no
or
interest.
footy and stuff like that, he'd probably just like walk out. But you get him talking about business or
Yes.
or something like that, you've got him for like hours. He can talk. So
Science and history.
That is true. That is true.
Science and
I
history.
can't pretend. I'd never be a politician. That's why Jim for PM will never work. I can't even pretend to have any interest in sport.
That's very, very true.
That
Very
is
true.
true.
Can I bring up the one?
Go for
Mike told me this when I first came, but you sponsored Richmond years and years ago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And the president at the time handballed you the footy and just hit your chest. And you picked it up and you looked at the footy and said, it said I was going to be the only sponsor. But there was a big Sharon written, you know what Sharon is on the footy? Yeah. But Mike said it was very funny. But all footballs have this big Sharon, and on the other side it had Jim's Mowing or something.
I remember
That
that.
was quite
Everybody
funny.
used to think I was a fanatical Richmond supporter. I had nothing to do with it.
Well,
They
you've
thought
got
the
photo of
reason
trailer.
that Jim's Mowing would spend huge amounts of money sponsoring Richmond is because I personally like Richmond, which was the last thing I ever do anyway. It was supposed to be, it was just good coverage for the division, and people thought about it, and they organised it. I had nothing to do with it, but I had this reputation as being a...
There's even a TV segment back in the day. It's on the YouTube channel with Jay Schultz, and he basically went around and had to do a challenge with all the Jim's division. So he had to pick up a thing and do some cleaning, and there was an antenna and do whatever. So that's quite funny. It's like from 10 or 12 years ago. So if you head to the Jim's Group YouTube channel, it's on there. So Simo in Bessie's tuned in. So hey Simo, I think it's the first time we've had you in here. So Robin's gone here. Something to think about when buying into the Jim's family is that both the husband and wife discuss investing in the family's future.
Yes.
We came on board after a discussion with my sister, who was part of the Jim's cleaning division. After experience, we decided to come on board, but into the Jim's pool section. So they're in the pool care division. So it's massively important. Obviously, when franchisors go out, they tend to maybe speak towards the male, but it's generally the wife or the lady who makes the decision. Or
Yeah,
I don't know what you find, but
yeah. The pay for work guarantee is a critical thing in the contracts. You know,
yeah,
it's just vital that they
I
have
think it's
that regular.
It's important that both parties understand what it's about too.
Yeah.
Even now, I get people who don't claim for some weird reason. I send out
They feel
a
embarrassed
1 month,
Yeah.
and I don't understand how it works, and I explain it in such great detail, and I go through with them, and I challenge them, and I say, I got one this afternoon where somebody was doing okay. He said, I said, make sure you make that $1,500 a week every week. Just contact people. I just did this email a couple of hours back. And I do that all the time. Go and do it. It'll build your business like nothing else will. And it's great if both parties understand.
Well, you never look back.
I would love to have couples I'd love to have everybody bring their partner to training. It'd be fantastic. very impractical.
Yeah.
Childcare would certainly help. But it will be great for both parties to understand that. And I think actually makes it more likely they're going to succeed too.
Well, if you do have your kids, I can look after my corner now. I'm looking after 5 children as it is, so it's all right. Bring them along. So Simo and Bessie's one of actually a JBI building inspection franchisees. Tuned on here and going, hey guys, I'm coming up to my first 12 months as a franchisee in JBI.
Congratulations.
And I'd like to say I'm a changed man, husband and father. Yes, ups and downs, but it's going so well so far. Great
Yeah,
feedback.
he's a good franchisee. Great
Yeah.
franchisee. He's been trialing new app and I think he had some problems, but he was on an old version. We sort of found out that sort of communication with the new tech too is so. It's almost like you've got to sell to your own team, you know. Like,
with the technology.
yeah.
Well, someone here from last week left a comment. Adam Phillips says maybe training new franchisees on the technology is something that could be looked at. I was thrown at the deep end with technology. Doing the job was the easy part.
Yeah.
So I think Jim's responded with that by trying to simplify and do your own Jim's jobs, which is going to be done. Obviously, Paul, your division's a little bit different because you've got your app and all that sort of stuff. But you're right. There's a constant upskilling that's almost required with technology that moves so quick.
Yeah.
And I understand people like using pen and stuff, and that's fine.
So when did this guy started?
That was
Simon.
Adam Phillips last week, but Simo started 12 months ago. But I don't know with this one, Adam. So
Adam's about the same. About 12 months.
Adam Phillips, is he 12 months? Yeah. Okay. So Adam
we do give some training, and I think especially in Jim's job, used to be formatized. That was the old system, which was very complicated.
Yeah.
We do train in Jim's jobs. Maybe we need to do more. I don't know actually.
We don't do a 3-day training any.
Yeah, we do.
We
have
do computer training.
Mike does some. Mike Davenport does it.
We do have some.
Yeah, he does.
So what we're doing currently Mike is actually at the moment, he's filming video tutorials on Jim's jobs.
Right, yeah.
So we've done around half of them with Jake. We actually done Jim's Online the other day. So Jim's Online, we're going to have a 20-minute from Stephanie in the call center, done a great job. That's going to be uploaded to Jim's Online, and it's an unlisted YouTube video, and all the welcome emails are going to have it, and it'll be on our support portal.
Yeah.
So they'll update your work requirements and all that sort of stuff. So we are getting there. Hadar's gone in here. Emails are cleared daily now, thanks for the tips.
Oh,
So-
good. Good on you.
That's great. I'm sure he's having a good time. But thanks for that, Simo. We appreciate you jumping on. And that was Adam as well. So Adam Phillips is a Jim's building inspection.
Yeah.
So what do you do with your app? So when you do an update and stuff, how do you push it out in terms of training? And
Yeah.
is there stuff they can maybe come back and do, or how would you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's training. The old app. We built an app that looks exactly the same. There's a few different formats. I mean, it's got a few improvements, but it basically looks exactly the same. But the back end CMS and the whole collecting data and stuff is just amazing. All behind it,
Cool.
That's what we needed. So, but absolutely, if the guys are struggling with using the basic app in its pure form, like doing a report, your franchisor or your franchisor's buddy sort of system that we have will definitely.
Reach out,
But when they first start, they've got to go and do their friends or their mum and dad's place, and you've got to time yourself, and you've got to be put under the pressure before you actually go live and do your first job.
Right.
But we'll be with you for your first 10 supervised inspections. So we've got a pretty good onboarding process that they shouldn't really, after we sort of say you're all right, they're pretty familiar with the app, and their first week that they're with us, they're basically got it in their hand all the time. We're using it, we're going out on the site, and then we're coming back into the classroom.
Nice. So there's another. Sorry to cut you off there. I'm just trying to get through a couple before we can get through. So Dennis Bushell on one of the other pages. Dennis Bushell, I know him. His nickname's the D Train. He's a big unit. Maybe the word Jim puts off a few women from becoming franchisees. Would perhaps opening up a new franchisee section named Jill instead of Jim would encourage more women. Even a franchisee for couples may be worth considering. A franchise for couples.
We actually tried that. We went into the hairdressing at one stage, and we thought, well, Jim's is too butch for hairdressing, so we started a thing called Marie's.
Oh, really?
But it failed completely. It just doesn't have brand recognition. That's the big thing. So, yeah, unless you make Jill with a beard and a hat, I don't know exactly how. I think the brand is just simply so strong that it overcomes the difference. But like I said in the beginning, when we started the idea of women doing this thing, it seemed very bizarre. But it does transfer. Well, it's just the brand. It's like Virgin, for example. I mean, Virgin. What is Virgin? It's a record store. but now it's an airline and it's a
Yeah,
Calder
brand
and
stretched, yeah.
it's everything else. The brand stretches; it just becomes known as a brand.
I think Dennis and our part as well, we can do a lot more video content with women promoting that side of it. That's something that's probably up to me and Jake to organise, so we'll definitely do that. One of our main testimonial videos is a mowing. It's a couple, it's a lady and it's a woman and wife, husband team, and we definitely need to do a lot more of that to let ladies know that obviously they come on board if you're thinking about it.
The Jim's brand actually does very well with women, I think, because of women tend to be more security conscious.
Yeah.
When you're letting somebody into your house or even into your yard that you don't know, which is the case with the tradie, having a trusted name behind makes a great deal of difference.
Yeah.
Whereas men are probably a little bit less, say, I don't mind, whatever, as long as they got 2 legs and a head, then they're okay.
No, it helps out building inspections and hazardous material, especially the mould and the meth cleaning stuff that we're doing. It's definitely the women.
Yeah. So thanks for that one, Dennis. That was a good one, D-Train. Now, Daniel James is going, how's the gym's mobile mechanic division going? Any franchisees yet? Are there missed leads that I can pick up? I'm a mechanic by trade. Cheers. Jim's Batteries, Deer Park.
You're a mechanic.
Yeah, Daniel James is a mechanic.
Look, just put yourself down if you can show your ability, put yourself down cross-divisional. We've got about 6 coming in for training, actually. So
6 into training.
I think so.
Yeah.
We've had a very good response to that, which is strange because you require all this qualification, but mechanics get paid awfully.
Do they?
When you consider they got 4 years of training and then you get paid in a workshop almost nothing.
Job.
It's a tough job. So you can get out there and have your own business and you can make your 60, 80, $100 an hour or whatever you can make. It's actually proving very good. But by all means, what you've got to do is to show that you've got the qualifications. So just come to us and say, I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
We'll put you in touch with the division. We'll get you checked out. And you can then go cross divisionally, which means you'll only get the work that the mechanic guys don't want.
Yes.
But there's usually a lot of unserviced leads for.
It's going to be very lucrative, Daniel, and I'm sure you're going well in batteries as it is, but that'll be a good one. So definitely, as Jim said, do that and you can get on board. So
do approach with your batteries. One of the things with, and I was talking with a guy who's he replied my 1 month letter. Actually, when I responded to him, he said he was a bit short of work, so I said, okay, we've got a van here that's the battery's gone. Come up, so half an hour later he was up there fixing the van, which was good.
You still got that van?
Yeah. It's just across there in the car park, and the battery was gone. So when I was emailing him back, I said, well, we need something done. But what I said to him is, in Melbourne, you've got like 500 franchisees. Why not go to the meetings and offer a free battery check, which is part of your paperwork guarantee? Then you've got potentially 500 franchisees who know you, and you can replace some batteries and you can do all kinds of stuff. So use the internal network system, especially for a new division like batteries or mechanics. I know when we've got mobile mechanics around here, there's a guy from Croydon who's looking at it, hopefully starting fairly shortly. One of the first things we're going to do is say, come to our head office. We've got about 60 cars here every day of the week. There is an immense business to be had internally.
I know the local car detailing guy does really well here.
Oh yeah, he just spends the entire day just washing car after car after car.
So M Cherry's gone in. Awesome work, Paul. You have a great team behind you at Jim's Building Inspections, or great team behind Jim's Building Inspections. M Cherry, so appreciate that comment. That's awesome. Jason Pollock's gone. I believe with the right person in charge, Jim's vets would work well.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyone veterinarian or whatever who
vets,
thinks they can do it.
Doctors.
Yep.
Anything. Physios, anything. We'd love to do the health stuff. We haven't gone very far with that, but it's a matter of the right person. Look, like with anything, I mean, why would something like building inspections? It wasn't an obvious thing, but you get the right person come through, and the division can work brilliantly. And when you look at the divisions in gyms that work the best, like test and tag, building inspections, dog wash these days, antennas, obviously mowing. You've got cleaning. Don't forget Haydar. It's the leadership that counts.
Yeah.
So the divisions that work well are not necessarily the best ideas, but they're the ones with the best people.
That tends to, they've got a good division. It tends to work no matter what it is.
Yes.
And that's generally the way it is. So there's another question here from you, which is gone, #AskJim. Henry Ford has a rubber plantation in the Amazon called Fordlandia that he wanted to become a utopian city. Any plan for a Jim's World?
Yeah, we were talking about this afternoon, actually.
We were actually, so it's
we were
good
discussing
timing.
if we had a sort of a estate nearby where we could put up housing, and the gym's employees who wanted to come and could live here and have access to nice communities and the recreation facilities and all kinds of stuff. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I wanted a spa in mine, so when you build my townhouse, you can put a spa in it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just checking that out.
Nice big master bedroom and all that sort of stuff would be good.
I think it'd be great, actually. I
Yeah.
reckon if people see, one of the things I love about my situation is I walk to work, and that is a wonderful,
pretty cool.
wonderful,
Yeah.
great thing.
I'm very envious of that.
Yes, it's fantastic. You know, commuting is one of the worst things around. They
Okay.
reckon that commuting an hour to work is the equivalent of losing $75,000 in salary. So a person on 75 is as happy, who doesn't have to commute, is as happy as somebody on 150 who does.
I've got it pretty good. We're about 5 minutes from home, so in the
That's
car,
not bad.
It's pretty good.
That's not too bad.
I'm an hour from home, so do you want to maybe compensate me that extra
Yeah.
75 apparently I lose driving an hour?
Mm.
Just something to think about. All right, so
Come work for us, Joel. Come and join.
Oh,
Well, no, I told you, Joel. You buy a place around here, we'll even give a bit of a hand, and
Yes.
then you no commuting.
I appreciate it. John R. Demas going here from last week. I would love to see more information available online for potential and new franchisees. Q&A if you like linking perhaps franchisees that are happy to mentor. So maybe more about the prospective franchisees. How do we make them, I don't know, if saying maybe more, making himself more available to talk to new franchisees. I don't know, thinking about prospects. I think doing this is one of the things we're trying to do, John, as a live Q&A, so anyone who's thinking. But I think it's a good, like anything we can get more information about.
You know, it'd be
Online.
interesting to have a relatively
Yeah.
new franchisee on one of these things one time.
I think it would be good. I think it
Somebody
definitely
who's just
would be
been
good.
going for just a few weeks and what their
Yeah.
experience is and difficulties, ups and downs and so forth,
Yeah.
and what it's like. I do encourage, what about formal mentoring, but we do give out a list of franchisees, current
Yes.
franchisees with contact numbers to every prospective franchisee. And I cannot say too many times, use that list if you're interested. Ring up and ask them what it's like, the positives and negatives.
yeah.
And make a decision based on what they say, more than what your franchisor says. And that applies to any franchise anywhere. What do the existing people think?
Yeah.
And that'll give you a great guide, better than any contract, better than any lawyer, better than any financial advisor. What's it like? Do you get looked after? Is there plentiful work? What's the support like? What's this pay for work guarantee thing? Does
Yeah,
it?
it happens on the road. We've got a trial day thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of it happens. A
Yes.
lot of the magic.
And you should go out on the road and you should be doing this kind
Yeah.
of stuff too and actually get some real life experience. It's pretty weird. We've had a couple of cases where somebody's actually started the business and discovered they hated it. They just didn't do enough up front to
Yeah.
find out that it's what they wanted to do. And that's not the thing you want to find out when you've just spent, $30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question, John. It's a good question and comment about it. We can
Yes.
definitely always do more. I know we're trying to do more, but I think based on what we're doing at the moment, we're probably the most transparent franchise system, I would say, in Australia with what we're doing. We don't hide anything. Jim's access to the CEO and Paul, access to anyone live. We obviously read
If any of your
everything we can.
franchisees had a problem, they could contact you direct. They've all got your
Absolutely,
details.
yeah.
And it's very, very communicative.
Yeah.
So I've got another question here specifically for Paul. Paul, did you consider any other franchise groups before choosing gyms to launch building inspections, or were you part of gyms then started JBI?
No, yeah, I did. I had buying the pest control franchise. I had building inspections in mind, but I did have a little bit of a look at VIP. But yeah, it didn't work out for them.
Why?
Just the brand. I did a well, to be fair to VIP, I didn't do, but I went with my gut feel. But we did a survey in different states, market research, just at auctions, at live auctions, and we
Yep.
gave out some giveaways. I think it was just some hats and some stuff, like people were standing around and said, I had Archie Centre and the local building inspectors, or in that state, the main ones, and I put Jim's building inspections in there, and we like in every state we came up like 85-90% each time. People recognised the brand. So
Was that before you started or after you
yeah,
started?
before I started.
Before I started, so it was the best known brand in the country even before you started the division. Gives you
I
an
didn't go
advantage,
any
doesn't it?
further.
That's why Jill's whatever does not the same impact because you don't have that benefit, do you?
So to be fair to VIP, I didn't do that with VIP. I didn't need to. I just I'd already because I bought the pest control franchise and paid it off so quickly. I was pretty confident that I could
It'd
make
work.
it work. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you have a couple more questions here. So Rob Ellis has gone, how do we go about finding when other groups are having meetings in our areas and if it'd be okay for us to join? So I think Rob's from batteries. So how can he find out if there's other franchisors' details or other franchisees in his region?
Just contact me and I'll give you a list of the franchisors in your city.
Yep. So Jim at gyms.net, Rob.
Yeah.
And Jim will give you the list.
Should be on gyms online.
Is it on
Might be on gyms online. I don't
Might
know.
be on gyms
I have to
online.
check. Sammy Robinson's gone here. Hi, Paul. Do you think there is a benefit in having your own marketing team?
Yeah.
A question from Sammy. Yeah.
110%.
Yeah.
We used to outsource marketing all the time, but
Yes.
you never get nowhere near as good a bang for your buck for the franchisees. It's really the franchisee's money, and we get a lot more having our own marketing team. Yeah.
But you can control the message as well, and you can
Yeah.
dictate it and all that sort of stuff, and consistency across your content and that, which is very important.
Yeah, it's crucial. I think. Yeah, but I mean, you can't do it. You have to get a certain stage where it's.
You have to have enough funds to obviously do it internally.
Yeah, the marketing team is. If you're trying to make money having your own marketing team, forget about it. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Like,
Yeah.
It's just.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, the franchisors have looked at other, going, I might have a look at. But generally, all the franchisors use our marketing team because they've looked at other marketing and they can't get any cheaper.
And but they can contact him as well, like the direct contact, and
Yeah.
So what generally happens is they do a really hard sell at you at the start, fancy presentation, all that sort of stuff. Then after that, you sort of just become another number. It's hard to get a hold of them. And
I think it's a franchisor off on his own at the moment. That's good. I was looking at his leads. Whoever's doing it is going all right, but it's fine. If you can prove,
you've got the credibility and you've got the proof of the concept, which works well.
Yeah.
But
It has caused problems in the past.
Yeah.
Like we had a big problem in the antennas division, where the Divisional was doing the marketing, but the franchisors weren't happy with that because it was a bit murky and how much were they taking in profit and stuff like that. So it actually caused a huge uproar and
I remember.
And that was big.
Yeah.
So actually, no, it wasn't that. It was in Skippings, I think. That was right. It was in the Skippings division. There was an uproar about it, and eventually it caused them to sell the whole division. So it's a matter of how much credibility you've got. I personally don't like to do too much marketing myself because
this is our marketing.
Well,
really one part of it. Yeah.
Joel is the marketing, the social media and stuff, but that's all paid for by the branding fund. It's not. We don't take the money from the franchisors.
Yeah, it's a hard job. It's paid search and keeping it moving and Facebook and what's working and it's just like
We share
hard.
people around. We look at who works for one division and other people tend to get it. And so if somebody has a bad experience, that tends to spread too. So we.
I feel sorry for a lot of Zors though, because digital marketing experts, it's not really a degree you go to uni or anything, right?
No.
You've got to go for a certain level to be a
can't
lawyer
tell.
or a doctor. Someone can just put on their thing SEO specialist, ring you up and say, there's all these problems with your site or whatever, and they're not really problems. And then all of a sudden, you're blah 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 blah, and you've got to do this and that, and they get locked into a contract and you're in trouble. There's no barrier to entry to digital marketing and stuff. People have got to remember that as well. So don't get sold too hard on the pitch they provide you, because they're probably just transplanting your logo with 100 others, and that's the truth.
Anyway, we have got an hour and a quarter.
We have.
Probably
So let's get through that. So thanks everyone for watching. So let's get on to the books now. So which questions or comments did you like? Did you mark down?
did the guy that asked about the buildings, do we do building surveying as well?
That was Steve.
Steve
Raymond.
Yeah.
So can you sign one? Which one do you want to give to Steve? I don't know, Jim. Which one? Steve's the franchisee. So give
Well,
him that.
you have to get that
Yes.
one because you'll have that one already.
Yeah, so that one's for Steve.
All right, Steve.
Now, yep.
I'll write that one, Steve. And I'm going to give mine fairly predictably to the person who asked about the science invention.
Okay.
My favourite science invention.
I think I know who that is, so I will DM you. Just give me I just want to get his name right now so you can sign it. Find the science invention. I'll scroll back up here. Was that Joseph Hupp? I think it was. I think it might have been Joseph. I'll confirm that. And the one I like the Rebecca comment about the Trojan horse thing. I had no idea. It was well above my head. It made me feel very stupid. So I like that, Rebecca. So I'm going to definitely give that. So thanks for coming on. Now, do you have a joke, Jim? That I've obviously built your joke up at the start. People have just been watching the whole time for that hour and a bit to see this joke, so no pressure. So
All right,
go for
okay.
it.
This is a joke about a Texan. I am sorry I cannot do the accent, unlike last week, unlike the one with the German accent. This is a guy who was a Texan. He was very proud of being a Texan. And the thing that made him most proud is that Texas was the greatest state in the Union. It's the greatest and it's the biggest state in the whole Union. He used to go around telling everybody about this. And one day somebody said to him, hang on a bit, Texas is not the biggest state in the Union. Alaska is the biggest state in the Union. And this got him really, really upset. He thought, what? Texas isn't the biggest state in the Union? And he said, eventually he was so disgusted by the whole thing, he said, there's nothing about, I've got to go to Alaska and I've got to become an Alaskan. So he decided, he got an airplane and he flew to Alaska, and he came into Alaska and, made capital city and Anchorage and stuff, and it was all modern and skyscrapers and everything else. This isn't the real Alaska. So he thought, I'll go inland. So he started to go inland further and further and further into the wilderness, and it got more and more sparse until it came to the furthest out, little outback wilderness town you could possibly have in the middle of the snow and the forests and the ice and everything else. And there was this little, like a pub in Australian terms, where which was the centre of this tiny little settlement. And he went into this place and he said, look, I want to become an Alaskan. How do I do it? And the barman was behind the bar, and he had a few of his mates around. So the broad wink to his mate, he said, listen, okay, if you want to become a true Alaskan, he said, yes, I do. If you want to become a true Alaskan, there is 3 things you've got to do. The first thing, you've got to be able to drink a bucket of whiskey straight without pausing for breath. And the second thing is, you must go out and find and make love to an Eskimo girl. And the third thing is, you've got to shoot a polar bear. And the guy said, well, that's pretty tough, but I am going to be an Alaskan. So they put all the bottles of whiskey into this bucket, and he drank the whole thing down in one gulp. Amazing. And then he staggered for the door, but he was a bit glassy-eyed by this stage. And this guy was, that Rube is what an idiot. And they thought it was a big joke and stuff like that. And then the time went by, and it started to get dark, and the wind came up, and it got colder. And they were just getting so alarmed that we've sent this poor idiot out to his death, he knows nothing. When the door flung open and this guy staggers in, and he is blood from head to toe, and his clothes are in shred, and he's got marks all over him still. And he staggers up to the bar. He said, all right, I'm going to be an Alaskan. Now where's this Eskimo I got to shoot?
I didn't mind that one at all. Okay. It was worth the wait. So next time, it was definitely worth the wait. Right. So we'll leave it there. Paul, thank you very much for giving up your time.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
You did really great, so I appreciate all the information you provided to everyone. So people, Jim's Building Inspections, you can punch them into Google. Search results will be dominated with them. You can check out an interview with Paul on the YouTube channel as well. Make sure you follow Jim as well at the Jim Penman, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And obviously the Jim's Group YouTube channel, we're pushing out a lot of content there. Make sure you tune in again, same time, 7 o'clock on Wednesday. I don't know who we'll have on yet, so stay tuned to our social pages. And we've also got Jim's Shop up now and the podcast. So we've got a few things happening, so always head to jims.net or to Jim's Building Inspections to learn more about Paul and his Divisional if you're interested. So thanks for everyone's interaction on the feed tonight. It was really awesome and we appreciate it. And we went for so long because there was interaction. So next week, keep interacting, we'll keep going. Until next time, guys, have a good night and we appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, see you next week.